But still, even with that report, the pro-statehood people in Puerto Rico are just like, forget that, whatever. Hey, let's just ignore that, and are just focusing on, hey, let's get more money, more money. But what about assimilation? What about being a state? I mean, when you become an American, you're a state, you want to be part of the U.S. family. No, that's, we'll still speak Spanish. We'll still have an Olympic team. I'm like, no, you don't. Does Texas have an Olympic team? Does Florida have an? No, they don't. New Jersey, no. So, but these stateholders really think that Puerto Rico will become a state and will still be Spanish speaking. We'll have an Olympic team. Totally fanciful stuff that doesn't exist. But that's the version of statehood they sell in Puerto Rico. Because if they were to come out and tell the truth, no, sorry guys, we would not have an Olympic team. We would have to all be with Team USA. They would lose a lot of people, a lot of supporters. And that's literally what told them. Yeah. And Puerto Rico right now doesn't have an Olympic team. And we're proud of our people, our athletes. And believe me, whenever Puerto Rico is on anything, it could be chess, it could be badminton, anything with USA, it gets really passionate in Puerto Rico. Like we're like, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico's going to win. Yeah.
Okay. What would be the stages in order for Puerto Rico to be independent? Like how many signatures on a petition? Like what would be needed?
Yeah. So, we've tried to get that answer from Congress for 126 years and still, no one said anything. A lot of times, there have been a lot of bills that just appear out of nowhere, but have never been approved in Congress. They just kind of disappear and nothing happens. So we really don't know. The only thing was at the end of it was like 1989, 1991. That was the last time Congress seriously debated like the status issue. Like what would happen if this happened? And with independence, they literally said that, we would support it. There would be a transition plan. We'd do some economic aid to help you become a republic. And then we'd probably establish some, trade relationships, diplomatic relationships. Sounds good. The problem was statehood. Many Republicans and even some Democrats back in the early 90s did not want statehood, and they don't. And that's always been the poison pill. Every status plebiscite that happens in Puerto Rico or any bill in Congress, the minute statehood is added, it's dead. It dies because it has no future in Congress. The American people don't want it. If Puerto Rico become a state, imagine this. We have a larger population than many states, like what with Nebraska, Kansas, we are larger than them. If we became a state, we would take away their congressional representatives because the Congress has to stay at 435. So when they do an apportionment, let's say Kansas has 3 reps, maybe now the next year they'll have 2, or 1, whatever. So just that in and of itself, will make many other states be like, no, we cannot have Puerto Rico state for that reason, for those political reasons.
I see. That makes sense. But so you said like 43% appear to approve. When, like what would be needed to force a vote to say?
So recently, one of the things that we're pushing, because we've had many plebiscites and statehood always somehow wins. And that's a whole other conversation because they manipulate the votes because they control the electoral commission. That's a whole thing. But even when they say they win, they're all ignored. Congress always ignores all the plebiscite. Okay, so seeing that for the past few decades, that's what happens. A group of Puerto Rico called Plan B Independencia basically came up with the idea of, let's go, instead of asking Congress what to do next, because they just keep ignoring Puerto Rico, let's go straight to the executive branch. Because the president has the executive power. So he can literally just take an executive order and can sign Puerto Rico and support independence and basically start that process. Congress would then support it, especially if the Republicans control Congress. And if Trump is saying, hey, this is what I want, make it happen, it could happen. So there was a draft executive order that we helped write. It's circulated in Congress. It created a huge media storm and panic in Puerto Rico. It was a media storm, but the panic was really more with the pro-statehood party because they for many years have just isolated everyone who isn't pro-statehood out of Washington, D.C. Now they can't. Now we're independentistas. We're also in Washington. We're talking to congressmen, senators, and now they're in panic because we're actually being heard. They're actually opening the doors for us. We're having meetings.
What would happen though? It doesn't seem like anything major would happen. I guess, geopolitical security, they could say to Puerto Rico, like, you'll have an obligation to align with us militarily. They could set terms. I guess it would be like release terms, and they would probably try to extract a heavy price for your release, unfortunately,
And if that were the case, that would all be on a negotiation. We would love to be in a situation where we're sitting down with the American delegation and negotiate like an Brexit strategy, if you could call it that. It's our way to leave, but we want to leave, but on good terms, not, like squabbling, yelling type of situation. Have a really nice, this isn't working. Let's transition to independence, yet also be a U.S. ally, trade partner, strategic partner in the Caribbean. We can make that happen. We have a lot of interests in common.